Today I'm going to show you how playing on a drum line ruined my students' stick technique so you can avoid the same trap. If you're new to this channel, I'm a former U.S. Army drummer and now play professionally in the Kansas City area. And one quick thing before we get started, if you're a drummer really trying to get your stick control together, I have something that will really help you with that. I've got my 10 best exercises for speed that I'd like to send you absolutely free. And these are the same type of exercises that helped my student Matthew Lam win a fastest hands drumming competition 2 years in a row. Just follow the link in the comments below to get a free copy. Okay, so first of all, playing on a drum line does not necessarily give you bad technique. In fact, the opposite is many times true. I did plenty of drumline myself, first in high school, then in college, and then in the U.S. Army Band. So how did playing on a drumline hurt my students' technique? Well, it's the way the drummers on this drumline were forced to play. This came to my attention just the other day. My student told me he was having trouble with his double stroke rolls. This is one of the best, if not the best student that I've ever had. So what happened? The way that all the great drummers played, including Buddy Rich, Krupa, Joe Morello, and many others, was using a system of levels. This is what George Lawrence Stone, the author of the book Stick Control for the Modern Drummer, taught as well. In a nutshell, the stick was allowed to rebound. The volume of the stroke was controlled by the stick height. So if they wanted to play softer, they'd play close to the head. Louder strokes were played with the sticks higher. This way you're working with the physics of the head and the sticks. If the sticks are allowed to rebound, then they're doing half the work for you. This is a very natural way of playing. It enables maximum speed and control and relaxation. It also helps avoid injuries to the hands because the drumsticks and the head are absorbing most of the impact of the stroke. It also produces very powerful and clean double strokes. But the instructor for my students' drumline told them not to let the sticks rebound. Instead of using the bounce of the head, he had them play into the head. The result was that my student ended up playing tighter and tighter, and his double stroke rolls sounded crushed. So for example, if they had to play a louder stroke, they'd play it like this. They wouldn't allow the stick to come back up. There are times you want to do this if you're doing a downstroke, for instance. If you're going from a louder stroke and then you're going to play a series of softer strokes afterward, then you do a downstroke, you leave the stick down to prepare for that next stroke. But if your next stroke is the same dynamic level, you want the stick to rebound back up to the level it came from. So now I'm helping my student rebuild his stick control. We're learning to bounce the stick again using a very loose grip. You don't need to play with a loose grip all the time. You can play with a more controlled grip, but you don't want to ever lose the ability to bounce the stick off the head or the pad because that's the most important aspect of stick control. Again, if you're wanting to really get your stick control together, download my 10 best exercises for speed, absolutely free, in the comments below. I also have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel about stick control, so watch those next. The first one you should watch is the one on full strokes. Watch that one, and we'll see you next time.